Okay, let's go.
All right, Tata, we're live. Welcome.
Okay.
It's our first time to talk via Zoom. Have we actually had before conversations like that through Zoom, recording the video? Before, have you had such conversations?
Before, do I? No, I have never. Actually, this is the first time I'm going through the Zoom. I uploaded it specially, yeah.
Do you like design, how it looks?
I didn't investigate much. I think, I don't know. It's good. The quality is good.
So I suggest to start from, trying to figure out what's the purpose of this conversation. What are we going to talk about? What would you like to discuss? Is there something special or?
No, I hope you will. I hope you will lead this conversation.
It's like always, right?
No, I don't have any particular topic.
But that's okay. But what are your ideas on good conversation? What is it for you to have a good conversation? How you evaluate something like conversation?
Conversation, it depends on two sides. I mean, we know each other. I mean, we have discussed a lot of topics, and I think we can choose a topic which we already have discussed, or something interesting, something controversial. I don't know.
So you think content is the content in general plays a big role, right? But how about the form?
Form? Form, of course, it would be better. I prefer that someone will lead. I mean, will ask the question, kind of, not interview, a dialogue which is being led by someone.
So you prefer to take a passive role and just, to answer, not necessarily answer questions, but, being led by somebody.
No, I would like to ask also questions, but I'm afraid I will destroy everything. That's why I don't know. You have a huge experience on doing such kind of things, and we can try. I think we need some kind of beginning, some kind of start, and then probably we will figure out. I'm ready also to ask questions. Why not?
I remember like a month ago you prepared questions for discussion about poverty, and actually had them I had them somewhere here, and I was studying your questions, trying to figure out how you why did you choose exactly these questions? Because for me, it's very interesting to make the questions for every conversation. So I almost never go on the internet looking for questions. I just focus my attention on the idea, whatever we choose, and wait until there's something meaningful comes, and then I write it down. And usually, again, it takes 5-10 minutes before actually something interesting begins to come, to appear. First 5 minutes, you just sit and you can't figure out what to ask and how to make it. But then, like one question, second question, and then you have just 10, 15 of them almost, one following another.
Yeah, that's exactly. I remember when that was first time when I prepared questions. And the first question, I was thinking a little bit longer on first question. I even Googled something, and after the first one, they just came to my mind. I don't know, spontaneously.
Do you remember now? Like, what were these questions? You asked. No, don't remember.
No.
All right, but the general impression after the conversation, was it better than when you ask questions or when you just sit and wait for others? To.
It was better because when I was thinking over those questions, actually I get prepared. So I was familiar with the topic a little bit, and it was easier to get to involved into this conversation. And yes, I think that it's much better to be prepared, and
No,
I can try.
I would like to persuade like everybody make such kind of lists of not just questions but some idioms. So for me, it usually takes when I don't like the topic, when I just when I don't have time to prepare, it takes a few hours to write questions, find idioms, find related words, to think about it, and then like all the time when I go to the conversation, I always this confidence and this ability to lead the conversation just comes natural because I know that I invested something like into preparation, and I would like to persuade like everybody to do the same since it doesn't take a lot of time. But I always think, what if everybody comes with like the whole list of questions and prepared stuff? So it's going to be more interesting. Well, at least it seems that it should be more interesting for discussion.
Yeah, first when I was attending our meetings, I thought, what a great idea. I just come, I didn't even know sometimes the topic, and I come and start to improvise or just express my thoughts, and it was kind of test for me also. But now I believe that it's better to be prepared, because when you don't know, you don't study the topic, the subject, you don't have enough knowledge, it's not comfortable to talk, especially with someone who is aware much more than you are. And I think
the whole conversation doesn't that doesn't go it goes slowly when some people are prepared and when they don't know what to say. Whereas if you prepare it a little bit, it always makes the whole conversation more exciting, more engaging, and people are more willing, I guess, to just participate, not just wait for being asked.
Yeah, because always you are like pushing us to say something, to go, and we're like stuck.
Yeah,
and don't know.
I actually hate it. I mean, I hate to lead conversation. I hate to be like perceived as a leader, because for me it's mostly like studying. So I make these conversations to study language, and I like to study. I like to prepare something, to bring it, to discuss it, but I don't like to do it like for somebody else. So I'd like to like again persuade you to study together, not just take a role of a teacher and get some materials, prepare them, and teach you how to do something. And I also know that it makes everything much more exciting when you do that. And I'm like, I still can't understand why many people like come and say like, I'm not prepared, I don't know anything about the topic. Like, what's the purpose to come with it?
I do I do often like this. You know what? Something just came to my mind right now. I was thinking, what if we try, for example, for next meeting, we prepare each of us, not everyone, I guess 5 regular members, for example, prepare something, some presentation or questions, and take a role, leading role for 10 or 15 minutes. And it will also involve everyone. It will be interesting.
Yeah, I'd
For
like.
example, I would like to try something like that.
Yeah, I'd like this idea. But would you like to do that for the next meeting? Like maybe not this week, but the next one?
Yes, next one, because yeah, next one probably. So, why not? I'm ready.
So, so you may address it this week, and if somebody else also ready, we may just do that. If not, we may do that like you and me.
Yeah. We cannot take only one person for the whole meeting. We can divide for between 2 or 3 persons, for example. I don't know.
Yeah, at least we may try. It's like always interesting to try something new, some new.
Yeah, because unless you before you don't okay, unless you don't try the role, it seems it's very easy and you can just do it, but you need to try it to feel all this responsibility, all this maybe it will be I will enjoy it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
what do you think we are doing in general? Like, what our purpose in these club and conversations and language and, maybe some big purpose?
Okay, for me, I think from my point of view, there are two main goals, two main ideas. First one is practicing English. It's a good opportunity, chance to practice English. The second part is discussions, discussing topics, interesting topics, which I am interested in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
Yeah.
do you have your topics, or you are interested just in those topics which I choose?
No, of course, I'm interested in these topics which you choose. Some of them I like more, some of them less, but at least I try to get involved. And I also, what do I do like about these topics? Because before I have never had a chance to read some books or to watch some videos or to even think about some subjects, some things. But after you choose, after we discuss or we decide to discuss some topics, the whole week I'm trying at least to go on internet or to read books or to think about those topics. And it's also for self-development. It's a very good opportunity and chance. And I feel that I'm growing.
Is it not distracting for you? Like for me, I prefer to focus on something for a long time, like not just a book, but collection of books of some author and read them like for months. And when I need to shift from one topic to another, it basically makes my mind just blows it up. Since I go searching for one theme, like for example, this week I was studying media, and I came across so many different topics which I want to study, like for next week. And every time when I study one meeting, I had just one theme. I had just ideas related to maybe 10, 15, 20 other concepts, and there are some books which I want to read, some courses which I want to watch, lots of videos, and it distracts me so much. And then when it's finished, from the next week, I need to choose another topic, and I can I always feel that I haven't accomplished something. So there's a sense of frustration. So I started studying media, and I got somewhere. I just started understanding how it works, but the week is already ended, and I need to shift to the different topic, and I can read this book since like I can focus my attention on this topic since it's no longer relevant.
So for you, it's difficult to switch on to another topic. The passing from one to another is difficult. Yeah.
It's not difficult. It's more like I don't like this like jumping from one topic to another. So it's relatively easy, but I prefer to focus on like my attention on like long-term projects. I can of course connect them, like choose one topic and find out how it connects to another one, but still like this feeling of incompleteness, it always accompanies me when I just when I can't really understand fully, when I just scratch the surface, understand it a little bit, and then go on and start a new topic.
Maybe this is because you're perfectionist and you want to get it like from the scratch to the like top, and to understand it, as I say always, 3D form, in 3D form.
Yeah, it's well, perfectionism is one of the things, right? But mostly, I guess it's no. Again, I try to keep all of them in mind. So at least once a week, I try to repeat the whole sequence of topics, like just remember all of them. So I have time, free time, and I just go in my mind through each topics back to 2019 when we started this club. And I try to keep them together to connect different topics to see how they may, how they may help me understand each other. But still there's a strong sense, like, before I started leading this club, I was reading, like, as I said, lots of books, and for me it's not natural to jump from one idea to another. So I prefer to dedicate my attention for a few months to one particular thing and focus on it and study it in depth, and then maybe go somewhere else. But now it seems so fast, and there's, like, probably I wouldn't complain about that, but there's so much amazing stuff on the internet that I always want to watch, and I always have no time, and then again I'm distracted. I always want more, but just and at the same time I understand that it's just a surface. No, I place my hope in the future that somewhere out, like maybe in the next few years, I'll be able to, like, maybe understand better all these connections between the topics and choose just one thing, work on one topic, and as Schopenhauer, for example, a few months ago. So I was really willing to read Schopenhauer for a few months and think about only, like, ideas related to his philosophy. But after a few weeks, I just, I had to go to something else, and I stopped. But yeah, I think the whole idea is that it's I can't allow myself not to prepare for discussions. As I said, I may just use few hours, write the paper, but it's not the way how I want to present myself and how I want to, work on it. I either work like I either do it all in, or I don't do it at all. And
Okay, I see.
so, but you said for you it's kind of normal. So you just think about different ideas every week. You change from one idea to another.
Yeah,
You're not feel disturbed.
It's always like this, not only regarding our meetings, but my whole life. I switch on from one subject, from one topic to another. For example, this month I have practiced so many different things, like I try to repeat my Korean to restart again to Korean.
How do you do that? How do you do that? Like just repeating, like thinking about it, or right?
No, I just I just sometimes I get this feeling that I want to learn to study Korean, for example, and I just take some on YouTube or on Coursera, on this application. I haven't passed it till the end, and I just restart actually those courses, and as soon as I get bored, I just immediately switched on. I cannot make myself to go through the end, till the end, and finish it. And it's from one side it's a problem, because I have so many things undone, unfinished. But from the other side, I don't get bored. And I do it because I like it. I don't do it because I don't know, I have to do this.
So that sounds like, very exciting. When you just do whatever you do, then you're bored, you switch to something else, and you're never bored. You're never bored, like at all. Yeah, but Korean, what else? Korean, you said you start studying Coursera.
Korean. Also on this Coursera, I started some kind of professional aspect topic. It was supply chain management. I found Georgian Tech University, and I listened a couple lectures. I wrote down some, I don't know, statements, and what else? What else did I? Oh, French. Oh, yeah. This week I practiced French. And yesterday we went with my friends to this Victorina. I don't know how it's called, when there are different groups and they are asking questions. You need to answer, figure out.
Like where? Like where?
Where?
when?
Where, when? Okay,
Where,
I
when?
don't
What, where, when?
okay. I don't remember the name. Unfortunately, I can try to find out. It was yesterday overtime. It's some kind of grill bar or something like that. And yeah, you need to sign up a week in advance. And you just sign your group or your team and you go and take part in this Victorina. There are different topics. You can choose films, movies, I don't know, science. Yesterday was mixed. There were mixed questions starting from mathematics, games. There was something from Mortal Kombat, yeah, science, literature. It was interesting. And after it, I came and I started to study something from that question.
Well, it's not what, where, when. It's like Jeopardy.
Jeopardy? Oh, I didn't.
It's like game when there's on screen, you need to choose, like there's score, like 100, 200, 300, and who's choosing.
No, there are just 7 steps, and for 6, each step has 6 questions, and they ask questions. Sometimes you need just to give an answer. Sometimes you need to choose from 4 or 5 possible variants. It was interesting. And I thought, what if we do something like that in English? Prepare some questions.
We actually did something similar when Mormons were there. No, have you met Mormons? No.
No.
They were coming to the club before the pandemic, and they had their own office, and we played this game Jeopardy. And there was 2 teams, and they prepared some questions, and we answered them. Well, it was kind of, like not kind of. No, I wouldn't say boring, but basically you don't talk a lot. You just first question, you think, you answer. Another question, you think, you answer. But there's no real conversation, no real discussion. And I prefer more just to talk, to find something new. Questions, yeah, they are cool, but not all the time. Okay. Actually, it's plan B. There's some just basic ideas. I actually prepared this 10-15 minutes before we started the conversation, just to try to figure out what's going on in my head, like what do I want to talk about. So value of information. How do you how do you evaluate information which you find on the internet, in books, or wherever?
Like how do I how to say I just don't understand
value.
Value.
Yeah.
Okay. Whether it's true or not, do I believe
in
it?
Not true or not, but the value in general meaning, like some information just trash, and some information, that's what I really need right now. Exactly this, this knowledge or.
As I said before, it depends on my mood, on I don't know, on my approach that particular time to some particular subject topics, and I don't know. I just get inspired. I can get inspired of some people, some interviews, some ideas, just some dialogue I can build on my mind. And then when I see that I don't have enough knowledge and it's some kind of emptiness, I just go and Google. I try to find information in order to continue this dialogue in my mind. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. But, for me, like I probably meant something different. Like the whole idea is that you just, for example, I read this book last time about the arguments, and the previous one was about communication. And like before I read another book, and I watched some videos on YouTube, and like most of what I see or most of what I watch or read, it's kind of low quality information most of the time. But sometimes I stumble up on something really like different, and I wow, that's exactly what I need right now. But it's never for a long time. So it's always like you read something, you get excited, you understand that this is exactly the thing that you need right now. But after a day, few days, this sense, this feeling that it's like very valuable information just goes away, and you are left with again with some banal trivial things. Which
so don't you think that it depends on from which point do you which view do you have, what kind of view, and on what point you are at the moment?
I think it depends on like my purposes. So, for example, if I'm working on English-speaking community and I seriously intended to develop it, there's information which helps me to do that, and I see how exactly it helps me. I see the value of the information in it helping me to develop like my projects or whatever. So in this case, yes, like, well, this is exactly what I need. But also sometimes it's unrelated completely. So I just find some lectures or some man, and the topic, maybe like a few months ago, I watched lectures on Bitcoin, not Bitcoin. There was one on Bitcoin, another was on financial education, whatever. It's like from MIT. I just, I don't know, accidentally, probably not accidentally because nothing may happen accidentally, but I just found it on YouTube. I didn't need it at all, but I started watching this lecture, and it was so interesting that I watched like 5 lectures and spent like 7 hours. I didn't watch the whole course. It was when we played this, not played, when I brought this shelf holder, this piece of text, and Vitalina bought like 5% of. It's like it was idea from this lecture which came to me. And I was, oh, that's so cool, that helps. But then next week I abandoned it completely and I shifted to a different direction. There's so many directions.
I have a question for you. You said that it depends on the view, but on the purpose. But do you think that time also like matters? For example, 5 years ago, did you have the same approach, the same attitude to the things that you have now? For example, 5 years ago, if someone says you about this English community of Kaluga, what do you think? What will be your emotions?
So 5 years ago, I didn't speak English, so I could translate it for, I was on Duolingo and Lingoleo, spending like 20 minutes, and basically I hated that. That was like the huge difference from 5 years to now is that now I like it. So now it's very hard to get to not learn. So for me, it's hard to, I always try, it's exactly the opposite. Before I try to force myself to study, to just, find motivation to do that. And now I'm trying to find motivation not to do that. Since I'm doing too much, like for me, 5 hours a day, I don't feel anything. So if I mean, like not just consuming information. If I consume information, I don't count it at all. So for me, writing, speaking, thinking, that's what counts. And if I don't think or don't write anything during the day or don't make a self-talk, I feel as if like I lost the time. And 5 hours, it's almost nothing. But before like 5 years, as you said, 5 years ago, so but I was interested in different stuff. I was interested mostly in philosophy and writing and again thinking as well. But that time I'll probably English speaking club, any kind of social activity. I was very suspicious of that, and I tried to get rid of all social interactions as much as possible because it was distracting. As I said, I knew what to do, and I had strong motivation to pursue a certain course of actions, and any interaction basically distracted me from my actions. So I tried to stay away as much as possible. But still, it's like it wasn't completely, I still interacted with people. I still had some, friends whom I can meet once a month or once a few months, go somewhere, talk.
Okay, and I have another question. You said that there are so many interesting topics, interesting things, interesting stuff on internet and everywhere that you want to learn, to study, but you don't have time.
No, I have time, but
no, I mean, yeah, there are so much things you want to do. If let's imagine in 3 or in 5 years, you will see that this idea of speaking community was not successful and you haven't succeeded. Will you be sorry that you lost your time on those pursuing, or you can say, okay, I could like study another thing. I can go like I could study philosophy or literature or maybe another language. Don't you think about it?
no, I'm master in such things which is very hard to convey in words, but the best description is going to be determinism. But it's not determinism like when you just,
Commit.
when you just study some ideas and some arguments. It's basically kind of practical determinism. So for me, whatever I'm doing and whatever I've done, it's like it's inevitable. So I can I may complain, but it's not really it's not really how I feel. So on this emotional level, I feel that whatever I'm doing, it's exactly what must be done. So if next 2, 5, 10 years I'll not achieve anything, and we'll be in a place where it's going to be like complete disaster. It doesn't matter, since it's the whole chain of causes and effects just led to this moment and was inevitable. So I wouldn't. No, I may complain, but usually it's just, as I said, just something that I do unintentionally. Whereas deep inside, I feel very calm about what's going on. So choosing something else, well, I consider this a particular. Maybe I'll choose. I had some deep idea, not deep, like implicit ideas, which I don't take seriously. I don't talk about it with people usually, but I don't even I have lots of self-talks. And sometimes there's some crazy stuff pop up, and wow, that's how did this came up? It's like, what was the purpose? And sometimes I think, and I guess it's the last few, maybe 1 year, that I'll probably learn new language which nobody speaks and go into deep development of this language, and get rid of all social interactions again. Just study thinking in a different language, and probably read books and understand better the nature of reality, the nature of myself, the nature of the world. So it's but again, it's as I said, it's something that I don't take seriously. Just an idea, something that I would probably like to do. It's going to the monastery and living the rest of your life just being a monk. But it's not I'm not going to go to a monastery. I want to just go to create monastery inside my head. So I just may live in the same world, but I may again study some ancient Greek, for example. Nobody speaks ancient Greek, and now I have this successful model of shifting my mind from one language to another. And I basically know that if I have 5 years, for example, I may shift my mind to any language I choose, basically. It may be Chinese, Japanese, Korean, whatever. But the point is, again, I know how hard it is. Before I had lots of naive thoughts and ideas that I may start studying language, and in a year I'll master it, and then I shift and study another language, and I can master. I guess a year is enough to get to the level when you can understand things. So you may watch something, you may read something, but it's so superficial. I mean, what I want to read, what I want to watch, and what I want to understand, and what I want to write down, it takes like 5-10 years at least. And whenever I think about new language, I always count and I think 5-10 years, like, am I ready to abandon this amazing pool of information, which now is available for me for free, where I may just swim as as crazy fish and get all this amazing stuff. Am I willing to sacrifice all of this for studying a new language and like for 3-4 years just suffer and being unable to express myself, being unable to say anything, probably with no company, just with books and paper and writing, just thoughts. So it's
okay. And I just want to understand what's behind the idea of your desire or wish to learn another language which no one speaks or learns. What is the purpose or the reason?
It's basically self-control and kind of desire to protect yourself from all sorts of extra superfluous information. Again, the same media. For example, now I speak English, and I'm basically immune from all sorts of propaganda, from all sorts of fake news, whatever the hell is going on here. I'm basically immune from that because I don't live, like, I live in Russia, in Kaluga, but I don't live in Russia. I live here, so in my stream of consciousness, and that's different language, different ideas. But of course, in English, like studying English, like what we call, no, we had this discussion before when you said, like, when you think English, you're a different person. When you think Russian or Armenian or French, you're different personalities. For me, I think, I don't think there's something like I, so it's always changing. And studying English, it may be very superficial in terms of self-understanding. So before, when I studied Russian, I was just, again, I don't want to complain about that, but it looks as if, like, in English, I am exposed to superficial ideas. So I don't really, even if I read some philosophical books and watch some lectures, it's still not as deep as it was when I studied Russian. I remember as I said, I could read like 7 volumes of Kant in few months, and it was, it was hard. But when you read it and when you finish the task and you work on it alone, I didn't talk about it with anybody. I was just sitting, reading, trying to understand, and it was so exciting. And at the end, it's like, wow, I've done such a great thing. I realized something so amazing. It's so powerful. Nobody understands that, and only I can do that. It's so good. But with English, you go any type of information. I guess it relates to the previous question about value of information. So whatever I find here, like, I know that everybody can find the same shit on the internet. Everybody can understand it. It's almost nothing, and it doesn't make me feel as Russian, when I was reading books in Russian. And that's why I probably want to focus on some books like Schopenhauer or any other philosophers, read them in depth, understand. But I can't, since I have to maintain all these different stream of consciousness, communication with different people, thinking. Since it's not just communication, right? For me, like, I basically live in this like speaking club. I mean, it's here all the time. I always think about conversations, like have different dialogues with people, even though there's no people. I still think, like this person, what he wants to do, like why is she or he coming to the club? Was the idea what I can do with this person? What can I do with Tata? All right, can I do some conversations? Or what can we do together? What we can build together? And it's destructive, as I said. But it's like, I'm not complaining about that. I think it's necessary, since there was a reason why it just became so as it became.
Okay, you mentioned, if I understood right, in couple years, you imagine or you think you will be less social.
No. It's no. You misinterpreted. It was. I said it was one of the thoughts which, like, strange thoughts which come to my mind, and I don't take them seriously. I think like probably it will happen. I don't know, but chances are that it probably not. I'm now focusing on this club and this community, and I want to build it to make it like as the previous meeting. This girl, I guess Olga was her name. Yeah, Olga. Like she played me in the game.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she said like I want to like make everybody speak English in this city
Yeah.
and study English together. So I want to go deeper in English, but I don't know. Like it seems that there's always progress, but I can't tell much about the future since now it's so unpredictable. Again, different changes. At the beginning of this year, I made this exercise, 100-day commitment. I don't do it. Do you remember? Did you watch some of these?
Yeah. I watched a couple regularly, and then
you know, I after I made it, there was like not 100 days, there was 62. Then I started experiencing noise and all sorts of cognitive overdoses. So I decided to quit. But after a few weeks, I rewatched it. I mean, at once, like 64 videos, 15 minutes. Just I was watching it for a few days almost, not uninterrupted, but like 5 hours a day. My 10-minute talks,
and what was the feeling when you watched?
It's terrible. I mean, it looks as if I'm focusing on one thing, like public speaking. Now I'm on this project, doing this public speaking research, watching the best speeches on YouTube, writing comments. Then in a few weeks I shift to something else. I'm reading Schopenhauer. I'm going to talk only about philosophy. Nothing else makes sense. Then I'm thinking about podcasts. Then I'm thinking about grammar. Then I'm thinking about communication. Like constant jumping from one thing to another. It seems stable since it's one purpose, like studying language, studying, developing the community. But no, this frequent change, it actually bothers me, and I don't like it.
Yeah. And what do you think when you go through all these different kind of things, and after you go back and you watch it, does it help you to be better, to notice your mistakes, to make it
Immeasurably.
Yeah.
It helps a lot. I can't even tell you. It's like it's impossible to explain unless you do it yourself. The whole idea, there's a saying like Gnosis out is Greek, but there's various translations, and one of the English philosophers, Thomas Hobbes, Thomas Hobbes, he translated it as read yourself. So not know, like in English it's translated like know yourself. And basically learn yourself, know yourself, meaning like study yourself, figure out who you are, what are you doing. And he translated it as read yourself. And when I was thinking about it, I came to the conclusion that thinking itself, it's what's going on inside of your head. It's not thinking. So when you create something, when you write something, you need to record it. You need to record it and then look at it. So read yourself, basically, you just write it, and then you're in a different mood, a different situation. You just get back and watch what you were, describing, what you were talking about. The whole idea is like I can describe how it works, but it seems that when you do it on a long-term, whatever, when you do it on long term, and when you may read like whatever you were writing for half a year, for a year at once, it helps you to understand way better what's going on, what you're doing. So it helps to orient yourself in the world better, so you'll understand what you need to do, what you don't need to do, where you waste your time, what's information is valuable, what's complete trash, what kind of sources are valuable, what kind of sources aren't. Are you getting bored?
Yeah, no. So I was thinking, so you think that when you know yourself, when you know yourself better, you start to understand the world or your surroundings or other people better, right?
And it also makes you like, it's not, it's, I wouldn't call it understanding, I would like use some metaphor like seeing. So imagine that like you kind of like, open like third eye. So you begin to see, as I mentioned before, I'm kind of determinist. So I believe that everything was going, I think that everything what's going on is just going on. Like there's no future, there's no difference between future and past. It's basically one and the same thing. And by seeing, I mean that you see real connections in past and the future. Maybe not in the future, but in past certainly. So you just when you read what you write or what you speak, like your self-talks or maybe whatever content you create, when you can look at it from kind of when you zoom it out and look at like from a perspective of a year or a few years, you basically see better what you are doing and how it's connected, and you begin to see in your present time something that you couldn't see before just because you couldn't zoom out and see like kind of big picture. No,
So it kind of sense. Can you say that it's a sixth sense or something like that?
No, it's just a metaphor. It's just a metaphor. I wouldn't say that there's some extra senses or whatever.
Not extra, but like you said, it's kind of seeing or feeling.
No, I don't know. Do you have this experience when something happens and you can't figure out why it's happened? And you think, oh, probably it happened because of this or because of that. And you think, and something important for you. I mean, you don't just, you think about it for a week or for a month. And then after some period, you find, well, now I see like how it happened or some insight, like solving a math puzzle. You think about it for half an hour and wow, this is how it must be solved. And then you find out the pattern. So it's kind of the same feeling. You basically you have this feeling, but it's about your, like, since it's your experience, since you record yourself, it's about your life. You see better why you did A, B, C, D. So before you could think, I'm going to speaking club because I want to practice English, or because I want to discuss some amazing topics, or because I want to learn something. But you do like imagine that you every day at the evening you just describe your experience, or after every club you describe your experience, and and then you have like 50 pages for a year basically, and at the end of the year you read them all like at once in one day, spend 5 hours, and then wow, now I see like why did it wasn't like all these few reasons, it was just nonsense. It wasn't about that. I came to the club because of A, B, C, D, and now I see all these connections. So at least in my experience, it's most of the time when I read, it's something like that. And also, it's I think it's a good way to store information, since I noticed that if I write everything like what I'm doing every day, at the end of the year, I read it and I see that I forgot like 80. Usually I try to put there everything was really important for me at this particular moment. And at the end of the year, when I reread it, I see that I forgot like 80%. I just pick up some fruits and I just rearrange them in a different way. And so it's definitely it helps to see the picture, to see what's going on, what you need to do.
Sounds good. I can feel that you enjoy what you.
I think the main, it's difficult to explain when you just when you just give some, when you describe the thing. So in my case, I feel it. So I'm basically talking about what I feel and what I experience, and I'm aware that it's almost impossible to convey it in words. So it may, I can of course convert more like in poetry or write some beautiful things which may kind of, you know, what's the verb?
Or what?
I started forgetting verbs. Anyway, the idea is that you know, it's more about freedom and the ability, as you said, to do what you're doing. And like you said, I do something, I'm bored, I do something else, then unless I'm bored again. But in my view, in my opinion, I don't think it's possible to really do what you want unless you are not the master of your time. I mean, if you need to work for 8 hours every day, it's terrible. I mean, you can't find yourself if you do something that you need to do. And work basically, yeah, I guess it's difficult. You know, in my case, I haven't worked. I worked three years in my life, basically.
And if it's not a secret, where did you work?
Where I sold.
What kind of job?
We didn't talk about it, really. I never told you.
I remember you told about when you went to Moscow when you were young.
Oh, yeah. It was no, it wasn't work. I was selling some shit to people, like, you know, teapots, irons, knives. I have actually a short novel. It's not it's a story, like 30 pages in Russian language. I may send you if you want. It's beautiful stuff.
Okay.
It's called The Last Cigarette. I wrote it in 2011. Actually, I made a mistake when I said 3 years. I actually worked 5 years. So 3 years I worked there, and 2 years I work as a professional poker player, sitting at the computer, pushing the buttons, 12, 16 tables at once playing. Yeah, and then I decided that I need to do something else, like study literature, philosophy, write poetry.
What was the point? What was the point? What when you realized you understood that?
I finished. I wrote this novel. It was 2011. Before I was writing my journals, and I was writing them like once a month or once in a few weeks. Basically, when some events happened, some important events, I would say. But 2011, I wrote this bloody novel, and I realized that I have kind of talent for writing and for languages. And I decided that I'm going to dedicate all my time to, you know, basically to master my linguistic skills and to learn things. Yeah, and after half a year, I started writing every day. And since that, it was the end of 2011. And since that, I basically, for the last 10 years, I've been writing basically every day, except some short periods where I made pauses. And it's like, for me, it's like one big book. So I'm writing my life. I don't need to write fictions. I don't need to, some people write some fictions and publish some books about some fancy characters. Yeah, I'm just describing the reality. And I guess my purpose is to describe it as clearly as it is. So as it goes on. To find a way to depict what's happening, how it's happening. But it's not about it's like personal history. So it's not the history of historians who describe political events and kings, wars. No, it's more about like what I perceive, what I see here and the media and in my life around me, what kind of people I'm interacting with, what kind of thoughts are going through my mind. What are you doing?
What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing.
I mean, this like big picture. Do you have some kind of big picture of your life?
You mean like past, present, future, a
Yeah,
big
past, present,
picture.
future, including the end of life.
I don't know. I stopped thinking about it, a couple years ago, and I just want to leave to study as much as I can what interests me, and also I'm on my way. I'm doing my first steps to find out who I am, and getting free of some kind of I don't know, complexes things. And it's actually good for me. It's like living an experiment, and I really enjoy when I pass some kind of challenge, and I know about it, and it makes me very proud of myself. It's very interesting because from sight it seems like nothing happening actually, but in my head it's like a whole experience. This a whole life is going on. And it's interesting.
Do you have some story which you tell yourself about yourself, like who you are, what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm always looking at me like I'm in a movie or I'm in a book, and I'm trying to look from a side, okay, and analyze my actions or my relationships with different things or people. And yeah, a kind of producer or a director, I don't know, of my movie. Let's see. Yeah.
Like, is it changing or it's the same story?
No, it's changing. It's changing. First of all, the story is changing. And then like you said, my view of some stuff is changing very like dramatically. Because before I could look at one stuff and suffer, but now I can look at one stuff at the same stuff, but I can find it enjoyable. It's very interesting. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm changing. I'm growing. I don't know whether it's up or down, but something happening.
But how do you perceive it? Like, is it up or down, or there's no up and down? It's just
Like
it's infinite.
yeah,
Lifetime.
it's like going up, down, east, west. I don't know. I feel that I move. It doesn't. I cannot say it's up or down. It's good or bad, but I'm moving, and I think, I don't know. It's better to move. It doesn't matter whether it's a good or bad direction, but when you just stuck at your place and in your emptiness, it's definitely not good.
How do you feel about this conversation? Like, is it better than the last which we had when there was English podcast?
Now I have feeling that it's better, but I don't know. I need to look it.
To watch it?
Yeah. Because first one, when I watched or listened, I could feel that I was very nervous, especially the first couple minutes, and it was like I was waiting for answer, and I trying to be prepared to prepare answers in my head. And now it's just it's just a simple conversation. I'm not doing any effort to, I don't know whether it's good or bad. I also wonder, I would like to ask you, can you feel or see any difference in English language, my English language?
Well,
Has it changed?
I don't pay too much attention, like whether you speak better or worse. Pretty much it looks almost the same, but the level of nervousness and the level of confidence is better than it was the first time. But I guess it's also because like the internet probably is different. It's different since you feel more secure. You're sitting like at home and not with others.
I can push a button and end the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I understood that earlier I told about two main ideas or main purpose for me to attend English speaking club or community. And now I understood that I also have a hidden, some kind of hidden purpose. It's an experimental environment for me. The English speaking club, it's an experiment to I don't know, to find out who I am, to make some, I don't know how to say it, it's difficult to explain, to test how will people will react to my thoughts, to my actions, to my behavior. And yeah, actually I do it a lot during these meetings. Because I'm not usually, I don't behave myself like I behave at English speaking club.
Yeah, I may relate to that. I also feel like when I come there, it's just, I don't know what's going to happen, but then after the meeting has finished, I evaluate, like I'm trying to figure out why did I behave this way, and how people perceived it, and how they were reacting, how they were listening to what I was saying. And it's like self-learning through just group communication. You basically the group is the reflection of your, like, of yourself and your personality. And it's kind of interesting just to have this new experience and basically learn yourself in different environment and see. And sometimes I do on purpose crazy things, especially on the internet. I may go somewhere and just play a fool, or troll somebody. Yeah, and no, I find I usually like, it's not just like this offensive trolling when you basically try to put somebody down. I basically first I'm trying to pretend that I'm a fool. So, and then there are lots of people who want to teach me, and they want to school me, tell me what I need to do, how I need to do that. And then I'm trying to play with them, trying to can make them believe that they understand more than they really understand. And I find it very amusing. And on speaking club, sometimes I also, like, sometimes I come in with intention, like, now I'm gonna play this character. So this is this is how I'm gonna speak. But it's kind of a feature, feature. Feature, yeah, feature. Theater.
Ah, theater. Okay. Yeah. Yes, it's a stage.
Yeah.
Also, I in the end of the day, after meetings, or at the end, I forgot the preposition. In the end, or at the end of day. In the end.
Well, it depends on what you want to say.
Okay. In the end of the day.
At the end of the day, it's kind of, it's like common, like it doesn't say anything. It's basically at the end of the day. It's an adverb, which
so I guess I want to say that one. In the end of the day, I just wonder what kind of character I had for each of you. For example, your character, for me, it's my subjective, I have my subjective view through your character. Like, I don't know, Vlad has his, Michael has his, your like character. And I just wonder what's my, do I, for example, for someone, maybe I have this fool, as a fool, someone I have this naive, someone aggressive. I don't know how to explain. I just wonder, because I'm sure that each of them, each of you have different
I may help you to figure out. I may just add you to the next game, our game, role game. So I may add Tata character.
Yeah, that will be cool. And that will be cool for
regular. Those who know you. Basically, no, we'll figure out how to make it that a new participant doesn't take this role, or we'll make an exchange with somebody. So it's going to.
Yeah, it will be interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking about it exactly this week. So I was thinking, to make a game for people who come regularly, know each other, like 10 people who basically like you, Vlad, Michael, us. Oh, what's going on? Somebody calls. So I wanted to make this like this game, and then like to make this role game, so to everybody get somebody else's role.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, and then we just talk and pretending that we are these people.
And I hope that everyone will play honestly, because sometimes, as Vlad used to say, people don't want to be honest. They are afraid of harming or I don't know, insulting someone.
Yeah.
Additional politeness.
Yeah. I'm actually working on it. So I want to create an atmosphere where really may be ourselves, like who we like, not ourselves, but ourselves who really, not to play a character when you go and on purpose, of course, you not play a character, but there's always some element of being unaware of what you play and what you are. So you come to the meeting, you think that you know who you are, you know what to say, but always it's just you pretend that you know something, you pretend that you are this person, but deep inside you try to hide your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, because you're afraid of sharing them. And especially what I want to. Now, for me, again, I regret that you wasn't on this discussion about foolishness. Like it was like it's one of my favorite topics. I actually I studied foolishness for many years, and for me it's like to make other people not to be afraid to play a fool, and to really say something that is uncomfortable to say. Like this is like the purpose. So I want to create like such an atmosphere where everybody is free and may express their real thoughts and ideas. And of course, the first thing which must be done is like me. I need to learn how to be open-minded, how to present whatever I know, whatever I understand, whatever I want to say in the most honest and uncovered way. But often I find it hard. I mean, I also play lots of roles on these meetings. So often I think, like when the meeting is finished, I think, damn, it's like, what the hell I was playing today? Like I didn't want to talk about this. I didn't want to, say that. Why did I say that? Why did I? And it was 100% clear that I just tried to play a role. And it was unintentional. One thing is when you intentionally play a role. Other thing is when you try to be too polite or too honest or too aggressive or something else. Okay, Tata, I think we have 5 minutes to finish. I suggest to talk a little bit about English-speaking community just to finish it on this note. Like, some predictions for the future and probably what we can improve to make it better.
What can we improve? I don't know. You ask always, and I can say that I used to say to call my friends to come join to this.
Not about people. Don't think about people. Think about conversations. No, about the content that you create.
I mean, the reason why they reject, and there are a lot of people who has the same reason. They say that they want to be corrected. They purpose is to learn English, and when they speak and they do mistakes, and during our meetings,
we have many schools in our city. They will go there.
My answer is the same. Yeah.
What do you think about making conversations more often? Like, for example, I like this conversation and I want to probably have 5-10 conversations like that in near future.
Yeah, why not? We can choose. I think we.
It was good conversation. I will analyze it later, find out how we can develop it in next time. So we may do it like once a week if you want, and publish it and see how far we can go in. No, just try like 5. Let's suppose we have 5 weeks and see where we can go in the next month if we do it once a week regularly. Would you like to do that once a week?
Okay, let's start. Let's try.
Yeah, just an hour. Yeah, just an hour a week.
Yeah, why not? It's another experiment.
Yeah, because I'm actually like this podcast. I think I'll do them in the future in the same way as I did before. But I want to shift more, to the internet and like more conversations. Probably next time I'll invite somebody else to talk and like one-to-one. But then probably we'll make like meeting online when there's like 3-4 people.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, I have actually some experience of conducting such meetings, and I think like talk and like not just talk about some meaningless topics or just find something for which we may discuss for the community growth, for personal growth, and see how it's gonna work. All right.
Yeah, I will think about it because now nothing comes up to my mind.
Yeah, I strongly recommend you just before we have a conversation, just take 10-15 minutes to arrange your headspace. So what I just tell you what I'm doing. I take a list of paper, you may actually read it later when I'll publish it. So, and I sit 15 minutes and just think, okay, what would I like to talk with Tata? Like, what would I like to ask her? What's the purpose of conversation? For example, the first, I just gonna read what's there. What's the purpose of conversation? Explicit, implicit. Practice English, create content, build the connection, get new experience, figure out what's going on. So then there's few just form versus content, which actually I like asked at the beginning. Then value of information, then like information, wisdom, but we didn't touch it. Big picture for English-speaking community, we didn't touch it too, but anyway, self-learning. Can we learn something about ourselves by analyzing our conversation with others? I guess we discussed it at the end. Cyberspace, personal history, building the past, connecting the dots, the internet, freedom versus slavery, consuming versus creating, foolishness, who you really are, self-image, privacy, group work, stories, what's your story, attachment to your identity, self-programming, ideology, etc. So just framework which like it takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes just to think, but then it helps to build the conversation. We don't need to discuss everything like that. Okay, Tata, thank you for conversation. Can we do it next Thursday? Next Thursday, the same time?
Yeah, yes. Sure.
So next Thursday, would you like to say something to those who watch it?
I don't know.
I guess I'll publish it on Crazy Fish. Not crazy, but this English-speaking community. So you may say hi.
Hello, guys. I don't. Yeah, I hope it will be better than the last one.
I think we need to work on it. I mean, when we, like as I said, if we do it five weeks in a row, it's gonna grow. I mean, we'll understand each other better. We understand what we really want to discuss, what we want to say to each other, what we want to know, what kind of information we may share. So it takes time. We usually don't talk in the speaking club. Basically, this group conversation, we don't. I don't talk with you at the speaking club. It's very rare. Even if when we have pair work, it's just 5 minutes. It's so superficial, and every new time it starts from the beginning. So every time it's like, hello, how are you? I'm good. How are you? I'm good. That's all. And that's what's going on in conversation. But here we may build something more profound. So we may dive in and build a real connection. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So guys, subscribe to our channel. If you want to hear something, like you may type some questions. We'll probably discuss them later in our conversations with Tata. Tata, thank you too much.
Thank you.
See you this week.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.